Hello, everyone. We will continue. We are going to continue with that pretend patient we had earlier, our overweight man, before we go on to the bioelectric impedance machine, which I'm excited about, and I have a great team that's going to help with that. Okay, so earlier we figured out that for our overweight man, his caloric needs is about, it was 2125 calories, but let's just say that his caloric needs, it's about 2100 calories. We can always round. Now, I was asked to help you figure out protein needs for a person because you've heard that for normal people, you, me, it's about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram. That is definitely one way that you can figure out protein for your patients and people, clients, etc. So if they're not stressed, if they are not sick, just like you and me, it's 0.8. And what was his adjusted body weight that we were using again? 85. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the help. Okay, so if you take 85, we're figuring out his protein needs just for a normal, healthy person. So 85 kilograms times 0.8, what does that give us? 68 grams of protein per day is what he needs. That's one way we can figure it out, okay? Now, I know that you've also heard of percentages of what protein should be from the total calories that you figure out for a person and the percent of fat, the percent of carbohydrates. Okay, depending on what you want to use, there is a recommendation, you probably heard one of the recommendations, that 20% of the calories, 20% of total calories, ooh, sorry, I can't type today, will come from protein. So let's figure out what that would supply for him. So let's take 2100 times 0.2 equals, and what would that give us? 113? Oh, 420 calories. Okay, and then we need to take 420 calories and divide it by what number? By 4, yes, absolutely. Okay, and that would be? Oh, 105? Wow. Okay, so that's 105 grams of protein per day for 20%. So we can see a discrepancy that if you do it the 0.8 grams of protein per day, that gives us 68. And if you figured out, okay, I'm going to allot 50% of the calories coming from carbohydrates, and I will allot 20% of the calories coming from protein, and then the rest would be like 30% of the calories coming from fat. So there are two different numbers. Which one would you go with? Is anybody like wondering, well, if I used his weight, and if I use the 0.8 way, it's giving me 68. But if I'm figuring, basing on 2100 calories, and 20% of that should come from protein, it actually gives me 105 grams of protein. Well, this is where dietitians have to use their critical thinking. What is the situation? If our pretend patient is in the hospital, I would more likely, well, not even more likely, I will use the grams of protein per kilogram. In the hospital, that is what we use. We don't use the percentages. If it's someone who you are seeing in an outpatient clinic scenario and you're just figuring out basic needs for them, then you can use percentages. And it depends on what their goal is too. So it actually varies according to the situation. Not one way is absolutely wrong. And the thing is too, if this patient happens to be someone who has renal failure and not on dialysis, then you really want to get specific with their protein needs as far as like how many grams of protein they will receive in the hospital and when they go home. So I would really hone in on what their weight is, their adjusted body weight in this situation, and using 0.6 to 0.8. For someone with renal insufficiency and not on dialysis, you would go down 0.6 to 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram. Okay, be very specific in the hospital. It's very rare that we actually use the percentages, but there are times in an outpatient setting that you could use that. Okay. All right. Anything else that you want me to add to this or share or show, Maria? Or anybody else? I'm glad that Maria pointed this out to me because I never thought about that. You know, sometimes us dietitians, we're just so used to just automatically doing this in the hospital that we don't realize, oh, we need to step back and teach the reasoning behind it. So I appreciate it when you guys ask me to show you certain things. So I'm open to anything else that you have. Okay. All right, so no other questions with that. We do have specific guidelines depending on what the disease process is. Every time the patient has some kind of infection, you definitely go above that 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram. At least start off with 1 gram of protein per kilogram. When you're in a state of stress, your metabolic processes go up, especially when you have an infection going on. And talking about a renal failure patient, if they do happen to be on dialysis, what happens to their blood as it's being cleansed through the dialysate? What are they losing? Yes, amino acids, that's definitely what I'm looking for. And of course, a lot of different water-soluble vitamins. But that's when I was thinking about amino acids. So because they're losing amino acids through the dialysis process, they can actually have 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram. So you definitely go up. Their needs are so much higher. It's so different from when they're not on dialysis. They're restricted. And then now they're on dialysis, they need so much more. And what I found out working at the dialysis center, because my boss at that time, she was on maternity leave, and so she was the renal dietitian, but we all got to go through the dialysis center and rotate to cover her. So I enjoyed working at the dialysis center too, I really did. But personally, it's not for me to work at permanently because I like to see a variety of patients. And at a dialysis center, that's the only type of patient you see. Of course, they have diabetes too. But if you like that, there are some personalities that love seeing the same patients over and over again like that. So that's great. My personality is like, I need change every now and then. So that's why I'm really glad teaching, because I get to teach so many different things. But that's my personality. So anyway, in a hospital, in that type of setting in which the patient is losing amino acids, they need more protein, but at the same time they don't feel good. And they're losing a lot of zinc through the dialysis process too. And when your zinc levels go down, that also affects the appetite. So a lot of them on hemodialysis, their appetite is not that great. And then you want them to eat more protein. It's a big challenge from month to month, from week to week. And so you really have to work in there and get very creative in ways in helping them meet their needs. It's kind of sad because on one hand, the dialysis machine is so needed for them to have quality of life. It cleanses their blood. On the other hand, a dialysis machine can be looked at also as a malnutrition machine too, because it does pull out those amino acids. So if they're not nourishing themselves, if they're not replacing, then they can get very sick too. So that's why dietitians are very needed in the outpatient setting too, to be guiding their patients along every single week, every single month. Things change for them. Now, for a patient who has liver disease, the liver is not producing enough what? What's one of the functions of the liver? To produce protein? Okay, I can't hear you, but I think you're saying something about glucose. It stores glycogen. Okay, that's one of the functions, definitely, for sure. That's a good answer. But the liver is an amazing organ. It's amazing how God created that liver. Not only does it store glycogen, but it also produces protein. But when someone has a liver disease, the liver is not able to do its job in producing protein. And so that person can get very malnourished too. So their needs for protein is also high with ascites. If they don't have ascites, it's 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram. But then, because their albumin level is low, when you don't have enough albumin going through your blood, there's this type of pressure that decreases. Albumin in the blood, it creates these attractive forces. What is that attractive force called in an artery, in the bloodstream? Oncotic pressure. Oncotic pressure. Okay, so if they're malnourished, they don't have enough albumin on board, their oncotic pressure can decrease. And then so when there's not enough albumin making that oncotic pressure take place, then the fluid will seep out and it can third space. It can go into areas that it's not supposed to go. So a liver patient can have ascites, and that's when they sometimes look more than 9 months pregnant. All of the fluid is collecting there. So when you have a liver patient who has ascites, then their protein needs goes up. It goes up to 1.5. So 1.2 to 1.5. But without no ascites, it's 1 to 1.2. So those are just a couple examples of what protein needs are for that patient, for those types of patients. Okay? All right. And there is a chart, there is a list like that you can see different disease processes and their different protein needs. And it's different for different types of patients. And it can get very, very tricky when you have someone with diabetes, with renal failure, with liver failure. It gets very challenging. And so a dietitian would really have to put in their critical thinking caps on. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears back to skin fold measurements or percent body fat measurements. So the caliper weight, I have the two calipers here. So after we are done, if you'd like to come up and use these and see how it feels and practice on each other, then you definitely can. This is for if you don't have enough money at first in your practice. This is a very inexpensive way of figuring out percent body fat. It's all right. It may not be that accurate, but if you do have a little bit more funds on board, then it would be great to have one of these machines that we have up front, which I have two Claudios helping me today, right? Claudio and Claudio are both in a few minutes. So I'm really glad they're here to help me. And I'm glad we have these machines because this will be closer to accurate than this. But we just want to go over the different ways you can figure out body fat percentage. Okay, so the thing is, as now we are switching gears again to someone that you are helping to lose weight. Okay, so the thing is, as we know, as we get older, as I was talking about the other day, we naturally tend to change as far as body composition is concerned. If we do not continue exercising as we get older, then we will become, well, we're going to lose our body mass, muscle mass. That will decrease. And then what will increase is our body fat mass. That naturally happens. But the thing is, we can do something about it. That doesn't necessarily have to take its course. You can take charge of that by definitely engaging in exercise, aerobic, and strength training, weight training. And that's something that was already instilled in my mind when I was like a teenager. So exercising and working out has already been a part of my life. And I really can't imagine it and without doing it. And what I'm so glad about being here in this university is that I love your campus so much. It's so beautiful. So I love being able to run here in the morning. That's great. Even though I'm abroad, I'm able to go running in the morning. And the gym, oh my, the gym at the guest house is beautiful. So I definitely take part of that. So I'm thankful that I'm still able to exercise while I'm here. And the other thing that I love to do that I really got addicted to this year is power yoga. Oh my. It really helps with people who run because not only is power yoga strength training, but it also helps with flexibility, and it just is a great, another type of cardiovascular activity to be involved in. But the thing is, you know, you yourselves, as you are going out to help people, we really need to be practicing what we're preaching. And even though you may look skinny to somebody who you will be counseling in the future, it would be nice to set that good example. I know an overweight patient at the county hospital that I was working at. After I counseled him on the healthy way to lose weight, he looked at me and he said, "I don't know about this. You're just too skinny. I just don't think you know what you're talking about." And it's like, well, but that's why I am skinny. Because I do practice what I've told you, exercise and eat well. But you know, you will get those. But you haven't been where I've been. Well, maybe that may be true, but I know that these are the ways to help you get to where you want to be. And so, as people continue to lose weight, though, I don't like to start off telling them how to eat healthy. I really don't go there first. I try to get from them, well, first of all, tell me, do you move on a regular basis? Do you exercise? Is that part of your routine? Because if you don't do that, then you know, all of these ways of learning how to eat well and to lose weight won't really benefit you to the maximum capacity that it possibly can. So I need to know that you are willing to be engaged in exercise. And when I get that okay, and that they will try to get more help from a professional in that area, then I say, okay, let's start talking about nutrition. And that's one of the things, though, personally, I just have so many other dreams and goals that I want to accomplish when I'm done with my PhD, is that, you know, I still want to go for that specialty that they have for dietitians in sports nutrition. So there's a certificate for that. And then, you know, I would like to get my ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine. So that's for also being a personal trainer. So I think it'd be great for dietitians to also have that as well, and also work in collaboration with the physiotherapists, physical therapists too. But I think it's good to have both sides. See, not only am I passionate about clinical nutrition, but I'm also passionate about wellness also in sports nutrition. So there's that side of me too that I love to share as well. And so when I help people lose weight, when I get them to say, okay, yes, I will be into exercising and all that, then I do warn them, as I've already spoken earlier, that percentages of muscle mass and body fat will change. And the thing is, to not get discouraged, because some patients get so fixated at looking at the scale every single day. They wake up and first thing in the morning they get on the scale. And does that ring a bell? Or some of us like that here? I'll admit I was like that when I was way younger. So I can understand that, you know, when we're all young and ignorant and, you know, thinking, oh, I need to be fixated on my weight. But I really try to get patients not focused on the numbers so much, but by how the clothes feel. Okay, because that's really what will matter. And when you build more muscle, and that's what we want our patients to do, is to build more muscle mass at the same time, that changes the composition of our bodies, and it really revs up your metabolism. And that's a really good thing. And it can prevent osteoporosis, and it can prevent injuries when you do this, when you go running or biking or lifting this, lifting that. And it's a good thing to feel strong. And you want your patients and your clients to have that feeling of feeling good, strong, and healthy too. And so what we're going to do, we did the old-fashioned cheap way of figuring out body fat percentage, and I'm going to have John come up again, because we will see, because we did it this way and it said that he's at a 13% percent body fat. But first we are going to okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have this Claudio first. Oh, you're going to have both? I want both of you to help me. I wanted both machines. Okay, so Claudio, can you please measure him first on one of the machines, on your machine? And, you know, if you're able to get these bioelectric impedance machines, which really get close to figuring out the body fat percentage, please get one. This is great. The ideal setting would be, you could start him on that. The ideal thing, though, would be is that he shouldn't really be drinking a lot of water right before he's being weighed. He shouldn't have exercise, because that can skew the numbers. But, you know, we'll go ahead and just see what it shows. But there are certain guidelines that we have to follow. So obviously Claudio is taking John's height. And what is it looking at? What is his height? Oh, thank you. Okay, 181? 185. Y'all have good ears or good eyes. Okay, so right now Claudio is putting in his height. Right? I might need an interpreter up here. Or maybe you can listen, Maria, what he's putting in next. Oh, we're putting in the age, too. Claudio, again, is at a good age, 40. You know, 40 is the new 30. I could say that with conviction. Yep, it sure is. Mm-hmm. Okay, so notice that he hasn't pulled up that bar yet. We have to wait. So it'll be interesting to see if his body fat percentage is lower than the old-fashioned way. Now he's able to, after entering all the data, it's time for him to hold up the bar, hold it straight out in front of him in a 90-degree angle. Okay, so there's his weight in kilograms. Oh, and it gives the BMI. Isn't that great? You don't have to learn the formula, but it's good to know it. A good dietitian knows how to do BMI with a calculator. But here it says, it says that his BMI is 25.5. And according to this chart, though, it says that it's normal, right? So it must be a slightly different chart. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, and really? Oh, so his body fat here, boy, I was really off, is 21.5%. It's still good though.
40.
For his age? Okay. So he's normal.
Maxim normal.
Maximum normal.
Așa.
So this 22 though, is that?
No.
No, okay.
Green.
Okay. I mean, oh, his muscle percentage is 37.1. And for his age,
33.
he's normal too. I'm so surprised, aren't you? It's normal. Okay, very good.
Visceral fat.
Oh, this is really good because it actually gets the visceral fat. And see, we can't do that with this.
1 până la 9.
1 to 9 is normal, and he's at an 8.
8.
It's very good.
Normal.
You're very normal. Yay. I think he's happy to know that he's normal. Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much. Okay, Claudio, thank you. And so this machine is the same, right? This other one, it's basically the same. Yeah, oh, why don't we try it? Oh, Claudio, come. Okay, John. Okay, so we're going to compare the two machines. So we'll have the other Claudio come up and help. Oh, cool. I want to see if the numbers are the same. Okay. That's right, it does. Okay. Okay, so the other Claudio will show us how to do it. This is the day of Claudios. So, okay, so with the white machine, this one will actually show where the body fat percentages are on your body. So that's really neat. If your patients want to know exactly where their body fat is, then get this one. This is really cool. So we'll see if the numbers are the same. Okay, so he'll have to do the same thing. He'll have to get up on it. Okay, yes, please step up. So you entered in his information, and so now we are ready to get the readings. Ah, look at that.
Deci 100 de grame pot să ai eroare la aparatele astea. Acum nu fac reclamă, dar nu ce ar fi. Asta se
100 gram difference.
Da, dioxidul de carbon e și tot.
What did he say?
Am glumit.
You're kidding. Okay. Oh, okay, that's good. I'll take it. So his body fat percentage here is 16.3.
Da. Deci aici procent zona.
Oh, in this area, it's 16.3%. See, it goes through each region of the body. So that's his total.
Body fat.
Total body fat. Oh, it's slightly different, not too much. It's 23.1, and on the other machine it was 22. Oh, 21.5. Thank you. Okay. So machines can be slightly different. Oh dear. I think that's wrong. You know, it does body age. It aged you. I think it's wrong. I think it's totally wrong. Yeah, it says that his body age is 47, but I think it's wrong. I think it's totally wrong. But I'll tell you mine. When they did it to me the other day, it said 27. So I think on that day it was right. Today it's just wrong. So, but I'm sure that's just wrong today. So, okay. And BMI 25.6, was that the same? Is that the same? Okay, yeah. Oh, and it figures out his caloric needs is 1899. Visceral fat is 10. Uh-huh. Okay, all right. Thank you, John, for being a great sport. You are amazing. Thank you. All right. Oh, wow. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, and then I'm going to have you do the little presentation. It's a good skill for... Yes, okay, so the moral of the story is for females, use the white one. For males, use the blue one. So, okay, so, but Claudio did bring up a really good point. You know, at your clinic that you'll be working at, when you'll be seeing patients, always try to use the same scale. And because there will be more consistency that way. If you're having too many different machines and having them use one on one visit, one on another day, a different one, then you'll have mixed data that it won't be consistent. So thank you for bringing that up, that you need to be consistent with the machine that you use. And I want Claudio, now I have asked him to go over your presentation. I know it's here somewhere. I think it might be this one. And I thought that it's very excellent. So I believe in collaboration. And so please go ahead and share your thoughts on it. You have lots of time, so don't make it too short.
Nu vreau ca în vreun fel să se facă reclamă la un anumit produs, dar eu folosesc produsul din stânga, din partea stângă, un produs validat clinic. Pe cine interesează pot să spun în detaliu asta. Folosesc de mulți ani, nu chiar foarte mulți, dar cam la între 500 și 1000 de persoane pe care periodic îi analizez, dar trebuie avut grijă, sigur că da, laboratoare diferite dau analize diferite. Nu mari, dar vor da. Așa, bun. Așa se întâmplă și cu aparatele, dar atunci când folosesc acest aparat, eu am cumpărat de mai multe ori pentru mai multe persoane și acasă la mine le-am testat, mă urcam când pe unul, când pe celălalt. Și vă asigur că au o precizie, chiar așa cum vedeți aici, precizie și siguranță maximă. Deci este un aparat profesional pe care îl putem folosi nu atât în diagnosticare, cât pentru ca prietenul, pacienții, dacă vreți, să fie motivați pentru a face schimbări. Iar veți vedea cât de minime vor fi schimbările pe care aparatul le va și depista. Dar, în primul rând, contează poziția, deja ați văzut asta. Mâinile și picioarele trebuie să aibă un contact ferm cu aparatul. Apoi ce măsoară aparatul? Până la 150 de kilograme, indice de masă corporală, procentul de țesut adipos sau grăsimea din exterior, deja suntem familiarizați cu asta, procentul de masă musculară și procentul de grăsime viscerală. Unul dintre ele, pe care eu nu-l cunosc așa de bine, localizează exact zona unde se află țesutul adipos din exterior. Sigur că da, asta poate ajuta. Indicele de masă corporală deja s-a stabilit. Organizația Mondială a Sănătății aprobă un indice între 18,5 și 25, indiferent bărbați sau femei. Formula pe care aparatul o calculează. Atunci când indice de masă corporală crește peste 30%, se observă o creștere a ratei mortalității cu 50%. Și asta, sigur că da, va trebui avertizat sau încurajat cel care se află acolo că se poate întoarce înapoi. Dacă vreți un tablou în care putem vedea ce putem face pe un schelet, cât ar fi de subțire, poți să-l duci în care direcție vrei. Personal, eu am avut o experiență mai deosebită. Am pornit de la 100 de kilograme, în care eram destul de antrenat și atunci când m-am îmbolnăvit, am ajuns să am 70 de kilograme și vă spun, eram ca cel din stânga. Deci pe un schelet foarte mult poți să pui sau foarte mult poți să iei. Și asta îți arată, poți să pui kilograme, și anume grăsime sau masă musculară. Și vom vedea, asta aparatul ne va arăta. Deci, în primul rând, vom vedea indice de masă corporală și ar fi bine să știm să explicăm celui pe care îl măsurăm ce înseamnă indicele de masă corporală. Dar se întâmplă și așa, un om cu indice de masă corporală 33, la fel este persoana din stânga, la fel este persoana din dreapta. Au același indice de masă corporală. Ce faceți? Păi nu putem decât să vedem în ce constă indicele de masă corporală. Unul are masă musculară, iar celălalt țesut adipos. Aparatul măsoară acest lucru, dar vă spun, ceea ce veți depista cu acest aparat este persoanele când fac schimbări și merg fără o dietă, fără un plan nutrițional, fără acționează la dietele care dau slăbiri destul de urgente. Atkins și supă de varză și alte lucruri, sau merg pe pe lipsa meselor. Deci mâncat foarte, foarte puțin, asta creează un dezechilibru în tot organismul și atunci când persoana, vedem aceleași măsurători, deci prima persoană, cea din stânga, pornește în cura de slăbire sau, dacă vreți, stilul de viață pe care vrea să-l pornească cu 68 de kilograme, cu 24% grăsime, în exterior vorbim, iar cea de-a doua persoană pornește tot cu 68 de kilograme, tot cu 24% de grăsime. Atunci când intră pe o dietă bine planificată, persoana din dreapta va avea aceleași kilograme după un anumit timp, prima 61 de kilograme, cea de-a doua 61 de kilograme. Aparent ne cântărim și spunem că stau bine ambele persoane. Dar atunci când intrăm în amănunt, vedem că prima persoană, fără o dietă echilibrată, unde organismul este dezechilibrat, apare o creștere a procentului de țesut adipos. De ce? Pentru că organismul începe și folosește țesutul muscular. Cea de-a doua persoană care folosește un plan dietetic bine pus la punct, bazat și pe exerciții fizice, bineînțeles, ajunge la un procent de 20% grăsime, deci țesut adipos. Și schimbările și desenul, de altfel, le arată. Vedeți ce țesut adipos are în zona mijlocului persoana din stânga, pe când persoana din dreapta formele arată altfel. Și s-a amintit, deci grăsimea ocupă mai mult loc de 5 ori decât mușchii, dacă vreți așa. Din acest motiv pot hainele, ca după un început de mișcare, dietă bine planificată, hainele să simți că puțin joacă și tu să rămâi, deci se lărgesc, dacă vrei să spui așa, și tu rămâi la aceleași kilograme. Pentru că masa musculară cântărește în același loc mai mult. Ce măsoară mai departe aparatul? Masa musculară, deci avem nevoie să îmbrăcăm oasele, nu? Să nu arătăm ca cel din stânga. Atunci când ai pacienți, când ai pe cei care îi verifici cu aparatul, trebuie avut neapărat grijă atunci când ei trec de o anumită vârstă, aproape toate persoanele pierd masa musculară. Și asta putem urmări destul de ușor cu aparatul la persoanele în vârstă. Și veți vedea, sunt extrem de mulți oameni care au un dezechilibru, pot să-i spun total, masă musculară extrem de mică și țesut adipos extrem de mare. Atunci când întâlnești, poți să spui o persoană normală, vei vedea după, acesta este un tabel recomandat de Organizația Mondială a Sănătății, în partea de țesut adipos merge roșu, deci către capăt, iar unde avem nevoie de țesut muscular, valorile scad exact în partea opusă. Deci asta înseamnă un organism complet dezechilibrat. Apoi, grăsimea viscerală, măsoară aparatul, de asta mă bucur foarte mult, ceea ce veți putea vedea și putem face o probă oricând, o persoană tânără, deci știm că grăsimea pe organe, probleme vasculare nu pot apărea la 20 de ani. Din cauza asta, un tânăr, chiar dacă el arată supraponderal, poate să aibă 120 de kilograme, dar grăsimea pe organe nu va avea, rar va trece de 9-10, dacă el are 20-21 de ani. Pe când? Atunci când e o persoană care deja are 40, 45 de ani, 50 de ani sau mai mult, atunci la prima privire ție ți se pare că e o persoană puțin supraponderală, dar vei avea surpriza să constați că procentul de grăsime viscerală este foarte mare. Asta arată în mod clar efectele unei diete bine puse la punct pe termen lung. Aici avem o imagine în care vedem țesutul exterior, grăsimea din exterior sau body fat, iar partea interior, grăsimea pe organe. Și acum vă dați seama, sau ne dăm seama, cam ce înseamnă înghesuiala asta. Cum ar fi să stai în mașină pe bancheta din spate 7 inch până la Timișoara, nu? Acum vedem câtă diferență este într-un om, într-o persoană normoponderală, persoana din dreapta, iar cum se dezechilibrează, fiți atenți puțin la coloana vertebrală. Deci numai poziția, cât de mult se dezechilibrează din cauza grăsimii abdominale, viscerale de altfel. Ceea ce deja ați aflat ar fi ca niciodată să nu îndemnați pe cineva să se lupte cu kilogramele. Lupta cu kilogramele o vei pierde întotdeauna. Va fi mult mai ușor să te lupți cu principiile. Deci ai un plan, un om care se pricepe la asta îți alcătuiește un plan bine stabilit, bine pus la punct și în fiecare zi te vei lupta cu planul ăsta. Va fi mult mai ușor. să vezi dacă ai avut un consum adecvat de apă, să vezi dacă ai mâncat după un anumit program, dacă ceea ce ți s-a prescris respecti, asta îți va fi mult mai ușor decât să te lupți cu kilogramele. Personal nu cunosc nicio persoană care pe termen lung să fie câștigată în lupta cu kilogramele, chiar dacă își pune mânuși de box. Eu vă mulțumesc și vă doresc practică plăcută.
I want to thank Claudio for doing that great presentation. I always believe in collaboration, and you know, and Lena also helped too. You know, this was her idea to have Claudio come up here and work with me too. So thank you. Claudio is busy. He's not even listening to what I'm saying. He doesn't realize that I am acknowledging him in front of everybody. Okay, well, I'll tell him later. So I was just thanking you profusely from the bottom of my heart for helping me, because it was very perfect and appropriate for what we're talking about this afternoon, this morning. So thank you so much, and for sharing your machine. And thank you for the other Claudio too for coming up and helping. You know, I was talking to Daniel, who's been here all this week, and he told me that he will be here on Friday to help me with the machine and everything like that. And so I was taking that, relying on that. And then this morning he's not here, and I was praying. I said, Lord, help me. And you know, it's amazing when you ask God to help you, because not only did he send me one person, but 2, 3 people to help. And so God is amazing that way. And so thank you, all of you. And you know, helping people is truly a passion of mine, and I know it's a passion of yours too. And that's why you're here. From the medicine aspect of things, this started playing music. I can hear music. Thank you. From the medicine aspect, doctors are so important, and as well as physical therapists, therapists, and I don't know, do you have occupational therapists here in Romania? Yeah, we all work together as allies, dietitians, nurses, and when you're working together to help people, it's an amazing outcome of what can happen to a patient, whether they be sick, they come from an injury, they've been injured, they've been in an accident. But when everybody works together, it's the most amazing, rewarding feeling that you have given of your time, of yourself to help someone. And, you know, I wish I made more money than I do now, but you know what? Who cares? It's the opportunity to help people that's truly satisfying in my heart, that makes me go to work every day, that makes me want to come abroad to help you. I may not help the patients or the clients here in Romania, but through all of you, that's definitely a dream come true, that all of you will continue that work of helping so many people here, and that's why we come. And seeing your faces here and getting to know you has been an amazing joy for all of us who have come and help you. And, you know, if you have any other questions for me, please don't hesitate to ask me questions. And I'm actually done with my presentation. I know that we're done a little bit early, but let me just give you, and so it's good that Kathy's here, but you know what? I'm actually going to ask Claudio and Claudio to help, because since we have these 2 great machines here, if you would like to come up and take turns in figuring out your body fat percentage, it's always fun to know that information, then please come up, gentlemen. Would you be able to help? Claudio and Claudio. Yes, so come up. But I'm also going to put up my information in my blog too. I love to be sharing information on nutrition. And so if you'd like to visit my blog at any time, you're more than welcome to. I'll put up also my email so you can also keep in contact with me. But so you can come and make 2 lines if you'd like to be on the blue machine or the white machine that tells you your body age, then please come up. So come on down, everyone, and thank you so much for being a great, great audience, and thank you for the warm welcome that we've had here. But come on down. Thank you.